Hello and welcome to the ARCS. We're live here 140 kilometers or 90 miles from Tokyo, Japan for the running of the Bridgestone 60. After Blubber Plumber saw victory lane for the second time in a row at Watkins Glen, we now arrive here to see who can claim the second ever international race victory in the ARCS. Now let's take a look at your top 10 qualifiers. Starting in the pole, Ryan Hubbs. In second, Ryan Just. In third, Diego Tacone. In fourth, Matthew Bussey Sr. In fifth, Ralph Johnson. In sixth, Jack Porter. In seventh, Tony Jansen. In eighth, Andy Seville. In ninth, Armando O'Reilly. And rounding out your top 10, Richard Morphy. Let's take a look at the rest of the competitors in today's field and get right into the action here at the Bridgestone 60. And we're live here at Twin Ring Motegi. Richard Petty's going to dive off. Ryan Hubbs, your pole sitter, is going to lead us to green here in the second ever international race in the ARCS. With Ryan just to his outside, and behind Ryan Hubbs is Diego Tacone in that Miller Lite car. And Ryan Hubbs with a very good start to this race. And he's going to lead us into turn one and clear the 72 of Ryan Just on the bottom. Wow. Ryan Hubbs moves to the middle of the track, and that's going to allow Ryan just to go up the hill. He is just not moving forward here. He is moving backwards as Ralph Johnson assumes the third position. And Tony Jansen, how about Tony Jansen up here early? Tony Jansen was last season's first international race winner after a very dominating end to that race as he battled, I believe, John Hendricks late in that race, but ultimately came up victorious. And we got a caution, folks. Richard Petty's out. Oh, and Cassidy Reynolds and that new scheme with a face on the front of it, just like Blubber Plumber. And we'll get a replay the accident in just a moment. And here's a replay of the accident. Draven Sandy and Joshua Harrison get pinched together, and Jack Porter gets collected as well. And the 32-3-15 are all involved here at Twin Ring Motegi, and Joshua Harrison with a nice stripe on the left-hand side of that car. And we'll be back in a moment. And we're back here at Twin Ring Motegi. Diego Tacone is still your leader, as Richard Petty's going to step off track. And your top four consists of two Dodges up front, a Mustang in third, and a Chevrolet in fourth. So there's your top four manufacturer rundown. As Diego Tacone will likely get the green here. And yep, they are underway as they go through the restart zone and past the Bridgestone starter stand. And we'll see who gets the best run into turn one, as Ryan Hubbs looking to get the lead back after he qualified on pole. And we got a quick caution, but he might get it back here on the backstretch, and we'll see, as Ryan Hubbs is there, folks. Ryan Hubbs in this series has one career victory up till this point, and he's looking for another one here as he passes the two car of Diego Tacone, and that win came at Road America, a road course. As Ryan Hubbs leads the lap here, and we are on lap 7 of 40 here in Japan for the Bridgestone 60. As Tony Jansen, whoa, getting a little crowded by Randy Johnson, I should say. Ralph Johnson, I should say, not Randy Johnson. I keep getting that wrong, I apologize. Ralph Johnson. But strong run for Tony Jansen, as he is in third place, and I believe that's about where he was running last season when he did collect his first career victory in the ARCS. And speaking of victories, the two car of Diego Tacone, we mentioned it earlier this season when he was up front, I believe, at Auto Club, but Diego Tacone is trying to join an elite club here in the ARCS by becoming a 4-time winner, and that would break the 4- or 5-way tie, 4-3 wins. So he would become the all-time wins leader in ARCS history if he could win today, and he possibly could, but Tony Jansen's trying to make it happen here at the front as he's going to look to the inside of the two car of Diego Tacone for second place. So the two car is in second place, but not for long, as Tony Jansen slides on through, and he will assume the second position. But Ryan Hubbs is out front still in this race, and Ryan just passes the 88 car there, as Armando O'Reilly just riding in about fourth place. And then you got Bussey Sr. Then you got the Manscaped car, a new look for Draven Sandy in the 00. He had Starcom fibers on the car earlier this season, but a fresh coat of paint is maybe what that team needs to get to victory lane here today. We'll have to wait and see, but a lot of laps left to go here in this race. 10 of 40 complete in the Bridgestone 60 here in Japan. Bridgestone actually is the largest tire company in the world, so a big sponsor for a big race here in the ARCS. And they have a fairly storied history too, as they've been operating since the 1930s, so a lot of tires have been produced here in Japan. Whoa! As Darren Kiefer made contact with Andy Seville back there, I believe. Yes, he did, coming off the corner. And I might have to go back and look at that one, but I believe he did. I'm not seeing things here, as Darren Kiefer running that patriotic Bob Evans car here in Japan. As you'll see a lot of cars supporting American colors here today in Japan. As Tony Jansen, he's getting hounded by the 2 car of Diego Tacone, and they are just trading places here. As just when you think, oh, and they make contact off of turn 4 on the front stretch. They bounce off of each other, and that might allow the 23 car to maybe make it 3 wide for second place. We'll have to wait and see. As Diego Tacone slides up in front of the 17, but the 23 is there, as Armando O'Reilly might get both positions here, and so Ryan Just as well. Does Ryan Just send it 3 wide for second place? I don't think he will, as they come... Oh! As they come together there, just like the Beatles, they're coming together off the corner. But Ryan Hubbs, still your leader here at Twin Ring Motegi, as he has held serve pretty much all day, except for a little bit after that caution period when he got passed by Diego Tacone in the 2 car. But the 2 car is falling along with Tony Jansen. That's not a good sight for Tony Jansen. He was really hoping to make this race worthwhile here in Japan, as it is a long trek to Japan from the United States. Whoa, and is Tony Jansen possibly getting some payback on Diego Tacone for holding him up on the outside lane, and he almost did. Tony Jansen not happy with that block by Diego Tacone. And Matthew Bussey Sr. up here as well, passing Ryan Just. We thought Ryan Just was going to have a shot at second place, but he falls back on that outside lane, which is not the preferred lane here at Twin Ring Motegi. But how about Armando O'Reilly up here, the rookie, challenging the fairly seasoned veteran of Ryan Hubbs? So you have a winner in the ARCS and a rookie battling it out up at the front. As they come to this stripe, we will have 15 of 40 complete here in this race in Japan for the Bridgestone 60. As we have comers and goers here in Japan, as we've got the comers of the 10 car and the 23 of Armando O'Reilly, and the goers of Tony Jansen and Diego Tacone, as they've fallen off just a little bit here. But mainly Tony Jansen. And this is kind of a surprise, but it could be in the strategy of that 17 car to just hold back a little here. He almost got involved in a wreck, so maybe he's just a little scared to give it a little here, because you never know what can happen. There is still over halfway to go in this race, as the 23 and the 10 have caught back up to the 14, and the 14 is definitely checking his rearview mirror, as Armando O'Reilly is looking to get his first win, but he's definitely got a pretty hard challenger of the 10 car of Matthew Bussey Sr. behind him as well, so he has to look out his front mirror, or his front windshield, I should say, and his rear mirror, because there are 2 hungry drivers on either side of the pile there. But Ryan Hubbs still holding serve here, 17 of 40 complete. And I'm wondering when we'll see pit stops here at Twin Ring Motegi, because last year there were pit stops as well, so I'd say probably just a little after the halfway point in this race, we could see pit stops. As, oh, there, Matthew Bussey Sr. is going to look to the inside of Armando O'Reilly, and he might get the leader as well. Wow, a 2-for-1 move for Matthew Bussey Sr. Is he going to get him, though? That's the question. Oh, they make contact, just slight, just a little kiss for Matthew Bussey Sr. on the quarter panel of Ryan Hubbs, and that might be all he needs. What a ballsy move for the 10 car. Oh, and Armando O'Reilly as well. He's going to maybe send the 14 up the track, and Diego Tacone wants to ride the wave here in Japan. And no, we're not talking about tsunamis, as the 23 is going to make a move on the 10. And things are getting hot and heavy up at the front of this field. As Armando O'Reilly, makes contact! These leaders are beating and banging off each other. And what a race this has been so far in Japan, and this is exactly what you want to see at an international event. And speaking of international events, we have another international event later this season in the ARCS playoffs. Just because last season's international event went so well, we took it upon ourselves to add another race, and the 2 cars looking for the lead here. Oh, and he's got it, as he uses the inside line to get around Armando O'Reilly, the rookie. And will he clear him? Oh, yes, he will. And Diego Tacone leads the lap, and he's trying to set himself apart from this field and apart from the rest of the drivers on the winners list, I should say. If he captures the win here today, he will be the only driver with 4 wins ever through 3-ish seasons here. We're halfway done with the season, 10 races of 20 here at Twin Ring Motegi, as the 10 car of Matthew Bussey Sr. slides underneath Ryan Just, and he doesn't have enough to get to the quarter panel of the 2 to side draft, but he'll drop in second place, and we're over halfway home in this event here in Japan in the Bridgestone 60. Chris Hergeson passing Richard Morphy there, as we've seen some fairly single file racing, but it is good racing here at Twin Ring Motegi. Don't get us wrong, after a fairly silent Watkins Glen with some pit strategy and a couple cautions mixed into the race, this has definitely been a good omen here in the ARCS. As Ryan Just, is he going to get it here? And he's just barely on the quarter panel. But will Diego Tacone? Oh, no, he's not going to be able to block him. And Ryan Just is probably going to get it here in turn 1. I think he got him. Yes, he did. Will Diego Tacone be able to slot back into second? No, he won't, as Bussey Sr.'s there, along with Armando O'Reilly. But Tony Anson is there as well. Tony Anson's made up some ground, folks. And he's back up inside, I want to say the top 5 here. Who is Tony Anson? He's got a quarter panel on Armando. And he nearly spins him there. But Ryan Hubbs is going to get a run on him there near the start-finish line, I should say. But Ryan Just is your leader here at Twin Ring Motegi. We've seen a lot of different drivers leading laps here today, but the top 10 has changed pretty drastically. And while we've got a moment here at Twin Ring Motegi, let's take a look at the Bridgestone top lap of the day, and it goes to David Long in that 99 machine. In second is the 39 of Darren Kiefer, and the third place driver with the fastest lap is Matthew Bussey Jr. And Matthew Bussey Sr. is in second place, so Senior and Junior having a pretty good day here in Twin Ring Motegi. Not quite sure where Matthew Bussey Jr. is, but we'll take a look here quick while we have a second. And he's in 23rd place here in this event. And I might add again that all cars are running in this race, so there are no cars out of this event, which is very good. Everyone still has a shot at it. And the 2 car of Diego Tacone taking a shot to Matthew Bussey Sr. as he's going to get around him here. And Senior's going to get shuffled to the outside if he can't drop in front of Armando, and he does not. So now things have kind of silenced themselves out up at the front. There's not as many cars nose to tail, but that's probably good, as we want to see some green flag pit stops. If they do happen here today, that would be good. You never know what kind of strategy call can be pulled here today. And just as I say they were filing out, they are getting fairly nose to tail up at the front. But one car I have been watching here, folks, is the 40 car of Chris Hergeson, the rookie. He's been making some aggressive moves around some drivers up at the front of this field. As I say that, he's getting passed, but nonetheless, a very good drive for Chris Hergeson, the rookie, up here at the front at Twin Ring Motegi. 4 cars in a line. Ryan Just leading that line. Diego Tacone, Armando O'Reilly, and Tony Anson are the 4 cars that were in line. And now as I say that, the commentator Jinx has brought these cars together. And they make a little contact. But that's been fairly common. And we got a caution, folks. Whoa, cars I thought were spinning on the front stretch, but that was just the tire marks. And this definitely changes everything, folks. In the words of Mike Joy, this changes everything. And it looks like the 8 car has some damage along with the 22 as well. And we'll get a replay in just a moment. And here's a view of the accident here at Twin Ring Motegi. 3 wide off of 4 does not work. Cassidy Reynolds gets involved with the 8 car of Ricky Quinn. And John Rostein gets a piece, and so does everybody else that's trying to check up. Whoa, William Donut's doing a donut on the front stretch as he spins around. And there's a lot of cars that got damaged trying to avoid this wreck. But we'll get back to the action and probably pit stops in a moment. And we're back here at Twin Ring Motegi with continuing coverage from Japan. And looks like we've got pit stops here. And it looks like Ryan just going to lead us down. And we'll see which pit crew can have the fastest stop. This is going to be the equalizer here at Twin Ring Motegi. We saw how important stops were last year at this event. But now we're going to see who has the best pit crew. As that GoPro number 72 has the long drive down pit road. And he's got the number 2 stall. That's very good for that team. As Ryan Hubbs flies in there as well. Your pole sitter with the number 1 stall. Oh, and Ryan just with a very quick stop. Whoa, Armando O'Reilly's flying. And there's your drivers as they come off pit road. Ryan Hubbs with a little bit of a slow stop, but for his position was not bad. And I believe everyone comes off cleanly on pit road. A couple cars too wide, but that's okay. And there are all your drivers as they come off pit road. And we're back here at Twin Ring Motegi as Ryan just holds serve off of pit road. Speaking of pit road, that's where Richard Petty's going here. With, as they come to the stripe, 9 laps remaining here in the Bridgestone 60. Armando O'Reilly second, Diego Tacon third, fourth Tony Hansen, and your top 5 is rounded out by Darren Kiefer. Let's get back to racing here in Japan. And a fairly good start for the top 2 competitors, but Ryan just with the better start here. As there's a little bit of a gap from second to third, and then from third place back, it's a gaggle of cars as they're trying to go too wide here, and I bet a couple will step out on the backstretch as well. And wow, they stayed fairly single file. Whoa, as David Long checks up. Oh my goodness! And the leader, Ryan Just, is pitting! They didn't get enough fuel in the car, and that is, oh my goodness, and there's a caution! Oh, there's a 3 car in the wall. William Donuts as well. What is going on here at Twin Ring Motegi? And we need a replay, folks. And we'll be back in just a second at Twin Ring Motegi. But are they racing back to the caution? No, the pace car picked them up. All right, we'll get a replay in just a moment. And here's the cause for caution. A hellacious incident between William Donuts, and the 3 car. The 3 car seen that hit before as the 3 goes around into the wall, and William Donuts and his hood are not looking good here in Japan. And we'll get back in just a moment. And we're back here at Twin Ring Motegi. As we take a look at the leaderboard, 3 cars are out of this event. The 15 of Jack Porter, the 12 of William Donuts in that incident, and the 3 of Joshua Harrison, also involved in that incident. And we're going to have about 4 laps to go in this race. An exciting one thus far, but I'm betting on more carnage here at Twin Ring Motegi. As Armando O'Reilly will lead us to the green flag. And will Diego Tacon get a good start? He did as well. And they pretty much hold the delta pretty fairly even, but will Diego Tacon get the better run into 1? That'll be the question, because then he'll be able to set him up on the backstretch and for the pass in turn 3, but we'll see if it happens. And everybody just waiting to make their calculated move here. But will Tony Jansen slide underneath the 2? And he will. But will he be able to make the pass? That is the question. Oh, contact off of the corner. Armando O'Reilly likes what he sees as the cars are side by side behind him. But will Tony Jansen have anything for Armando O'Reilly? Kind of how it was in Season 2. Tony Jansen chasing down a John Hendricks machine. But Tony Jansen came up victorious. We'll have to see who wins the battle today here in Twin Ring Motegi. But if Diego Tacon gets back to Tony Jansen, Tony Jansen's got problems then, but we'll see what happens. 37 of 40 complete, coming to 38 as they come off turn 4. Contact between Chris Hergeson. As I talked about earlier, that rookie, Chris Hergeson, making some moves here late in this race, but does he have the car to get past both of these leaders here at Twin Ring Motegi? The Sunny D number 17 might just have the juice to get past that 23. 2 laps separate Armando O'Reilly from his first career victory. He's kind of in the boots of Tony Jansen as he was last season, as Tony Jansen was looking to collect his first career victory. But will Armando O'Reilly get his first, or will Tony Jansen get his second? We'll have to wait and see. As they cross the stripe there, 39 of 40 complete, Tony Jansen's going to need to gain a lot of time here this lap if he wants to make a charge at Armando O'Reilly. Tony Jansen's got the draft here, but Chris Hergeson is there as well, getting pushed by Ryan Hubbs. I think Jansen's there, folks. It doesn't look close, but he's gained ever so slightly. But how about Ryan Hubbs there? He's making moves on the bottom over Chris Hergeson. Tony's close, but will Armando be able to hold him off? White flags in the air, 1 lap to go in the Bridgestone 60. Armando with the lead, Tony Jansen looking low. He's about a half a lane lower in turn 1. Does he have enough juice to set him up on the backstretch? We'll see. Tony Jansen drafting hard. As he's drafting, he's getting sucked off the back of the 23. Will he make a dive into turn 4? Oh, I don't think he will. Will he drop below? No, he won't. And the 23 might have just won this race. And Armando O'Reilly in the 23 is going to get his first career victory at Twin Ring Motegi. Congratulations to the rookie of Armando O'Reilly. And he punched his ticket to the playoffs there, but Tony Jansen was oh so close to getting his second career victory at a track he loves oh so much. But again, congratulations to the 23 crew. And we'll get to the rundown in just a moment, folks. And we're back after an exciting ending to the Bridgestone 60 here in Japan, with Armando O'Reilly capturing his first career victory. Congratulations again. In second, Tony Jansen, who comes up oh so close. In third, with a very good run today, another rookie of Chris Hergeson. In fourth, Ryan Hubbs, who was the pole sitter but ends up getting a top 5. In fifth, Diego Tacon. In sixth, Matthew Bussey Sr. In seventh, Darren Kiefer. In eighth, Ralph Johnson. In ninth, Richard Morphy. Rounding out your top 10, Draven Sandy. And let's look at the rest of the drivers in the field. And there were 2 drivers 1 lap down, Ricky Quinn and Cassidy Reynolds, and the rest were all out due to a crash and a valve issue. And next weekend, folks, we come back to the United States and go to Michigan International Raceway. So hope to see you there, folks. And sayonara from Japan.